Safety first is what I was told.
Thought you just pulled out the fucking 12-incher old ripper.
The old DJI.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's the creator's best bong.
Yep. Sup, dog?
What's up, dog?
Shit. How's tricks? How's business?
All above good.
Good.
Slow and steady wins the race.
That's right. I've been really dialing in since you and I have been like talking about branding and ICP and brand journey, brand story, all this shit. I have created some wild frameworks lately that are they're absorbable and simple for artists and just simple questions to ask yourself.
Sometimes those are the hardest questions to ask yourself. The most simple questions can sometimes give the most thought to the people because they forget about the basics.
So here's what I have a hard time with though, is sometimes I feel like even my delivery, the way that I speak. So Redbeard, who's in the community, was talking to some of the artists, and a lot of them have expressed the fact that they think that I'm just college educated. So I'm like, they have a hard time keeping up. It's like, I'm not. I made it through high school by doodling pictures for teachers so they would all pass me.
Well, it's weird you say that. Where did your... I don't even know. I'm not even smart enough to say this. How did you become so comfortable in the way you speak?
I realized that I sounded like a degenerate. There was a certain quality and caliber of individual that I just felt dumb around. So I started reading and just changing my tonality and my brand voice.
So was it something you practiced?
Mm-hmm.
It was. How are you at live speaking?
Really good.
Are you?
Yeah.
I know that's something you want to start doing.
Yeah. And so when I get the opportunity to do seminars or just like group speaking, I'm really good. Give me bullet points and I can rip on each topic. I'm terrible at reading. I can't do scripts. I can't do teleprompters. I will get lost in the sauce. Yeah. But if I just know my 4 to 5 bullet points, I'm good to go. Most of the time, like when I do seminars or public speaking, if they just like speak on the thing that you know the most, I will literally decide 15 minutes before I speak what I'm speaking on. Even on the flagship calls.
Dude, that's a really good thing to hold, dude, because I'm the complete opposite. Well, like I am not good with words. I speak way too fucking fast. And I'll tell everybody, I shouldn't say I'm an idiot. I'm a very bright man. I just cannot speak well. And I don't do well at public speaking. Yeah. Nor am I'm very socially awkward, dude. Like, and I don't know if that's the creative in me. Like, that's really where I know I'm a creative.
Yeah.
Because you put me on stage in front of 60,000 people, I'm going to scream my dick off. I'm going to do really well. I can speak in between songs. I can hold a crowd. I can control the crowd. Same thing like on a Zoom. I think I do but I don't think before I speak. I have no filter.
Yeah.
But I'm not one to ever say like, I'm not there. You know what I mean? And yeah. I guess it's okay because my work speaks for itself. Watching back at the last podcast we just put out, but there's times like I cut myself off. I get too lost. Like I have a lot of ADD when it comes to like my thoughts in my head as I'm speaking because I'm already thinking about the next thing I'm about to say before I finish what I'm speaking on.
Yeah.
I've never practiced speaking. I don't know. But I don't claim to be the smartest in the room. You know what I mean? I love getting in big rooms because I learn. I absorb. I'm a sponge. I'm just not good at reiterating things.
So the things that I say, I sincerely mean. The way that I learned how to speak the way I do and to be like very targeted with the things that I say is I would go into rooms I had no place being in, and I would make sure that I carried myself with confidence, but I shut the fuck up and I listened.
Yeah.
And then when I would realize there was a place where I could come in, I could provide some value, then I would, but I would try to slow my speech down because I have a bad habit of talking really fucking fast. Do you remember when we met, my content was just no breaths?
Yeah. Well, and
And
that's yeah, and yeah, dude. It's like yeah, I remember that, dude. Like, but then I met you in person, and you were very chill. You didn't speak like that in person.
yep. Well, that's why I like long form more. Is when we started doing the content stuff and really converting into targeting hooks, storytelling, call to actions, I would try to get as much value out as possible. And because my brain works at such a fast rate, I can talk super fast. And so I tried, like, I didn't try to shorten what I was saying. I just sped up everything I wanted you to know.
Yeah,
And it didn't perform because that's not the way I usually talk. I'm a calm dude. I'm extremely confident. I don't raise my voice in situations. I can usually lead a conversation just because I don't have that. Like, I don't get agitated. I don't get frustrated. I don't like get
yeah,
overwhelmed. And that is a character trait that's taught. You don't just have that. That comes with confidence over time. But I say it all the time. You go to the bottom of the Force of Focus page, I sound like a
yeah.
fucking
Well, it's,
lunatic.
I wish something I can control is my energy, so I can always be at that one. So not up here, but not down here, and I just keep it here.
Yep.
Because you see, I mean, from being on the phone and Zooms with you every day now, it's either I'm way the fuck up here or I'm down here. There's no real like, and
Yep.
that's how I'm in person. I don't know if it's because, and you would think I'd be really good at it, being traveling the world multiple times and being in front of people all day, all night, speaking, talking, being personable. But I was always shit faced. That
Yep.
was my social interaction. Was I always had a buzz, no matter where I went, no matter what time of day it was, and then even when I came home from tour, and then even in my 30s, it's like I was always fucked up,
Yeah.
and I would catch myself in conversations till 4 or 5 o'clock. Those kitchen roundabouts where
Yep.
you're building business plans with the homies at 5, and the birds are chirping,
That's
and you're
right.
about to conquer the fucking world. I would talk for hours, dude. Now it's like I go out and I'm a people watcher, dude. Like I don't speak unless I need to. Like I'm very collective. I listen, and I gain so much just from like sponging up so much information. But yeah, that's something I need to work on. But at the end of the day, it's like it is who I am.
I think the hard thing, especially for a lot of musicians and even tattoo artists, is when we're on stage, we're really good at what we do. The reason drugs and alcohol are so easy is because we aren't relatable to a lot of people, or we don't know how to be relatable. So alcohol is that liquid courage, drugs are that powdery energy. You know what I mean? And we can just keep that nice volley going all night and talk to anybody about anything. But I'm socially fucking, or I used to be socially fucking awkward. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't go into a room and just have a conversation. I hate talking to people.
Yeah. See, I'm
But
kind of the same way. Like, there's been some outings I've been to, and I have to tell myself, slow the fuck down, because if you put me on a topic, I'll see the look, I'll see the expression on homie's face, and he's like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And I'm like, "Let me start over." You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm so passionate on anything I speak on, it just fucking verbally, fucking,
yeah.
you know.
Well, that's something I'm still working through. Like I'll talk to anybody about anything, but I'll realize at the end of every conversation, I didn't have a conversation. I just talked at people,
Yeah,
and that's kind of a problem too. Like there comes a point in time, and this is huge when I do. I've worked with groups for communication strategies, leadership training, stuff like that. And one of the biggest things a lot of people struggle with is communication. They don't talk with people, they talk at people. You see it in relationships all the time. You don't
yeah,
talk with your wife, you talk at your wife. You don't talk to your friends, you talk at your friends. You talk over your friends.
yeah. There are certain individuals, man. Like, I'll say just because it's his birthday today, but Jay Ferrugia is one of those dudes. Anytime you get in the room with that guy, you know it's going to be a hell of an education and a good conversation, because he is so confident in the way he speaks and presents himself. That is just years. And he's one to admit it. He's like, man, I used to be the most unsocial. I wouldn't speak on stage. Now that dude owns rooms. He
Yeah.
teaches you techniques. He teaches you how to become better. He puts you in uncomfortable spots. I mean, the last couple of events, I've been part of with him, we go through these where you go around the table and you do these simple, like, one example is put you up in front of a room and he says, what's your superpower? What's your kryptonite? Right out the gate. What are you good at? What do you fucking suck at?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that icebreaker. Then he does a lot of improv. So that's something that's been like in the back of my mind. And anytime I get around Jay, dude, it's like I really like I buckle up, but he'll even look at me. You know what I mean? But he's one of those dudes that can bring the best out of me when it's like comes to speaking and how to run a room and how to just be that good energy. Like, how are you going to show up to that room? Are you going to be the dude that goes, oh, fuck, here comes Jake, man. He's going to fucking say, oh, I'm tired or my back hurts or fuck work. Or am I going to come in and run the room and be like, what's up, motherfuckers? Let's get down. You know what I mean? And that's what I always, being in those rooms with him, that's how I think about entering now.
I noticed that, and we were talking about it on the call the other night. Like, when you open up just a story, like, yo, what's going on, guys? You know what I mean? Like, you do have good communication strategies. You can set somebody up to be excited for what you're going to say before you even really know what your topic of discussion is going to be.
Yeah.
And that, again, like, that's something you have to learn. When you listen to people who speak, they work you up almost like a movie trailer where they leave the climactic finish to the story at the end, and you've already lost your entire audience, whether that's one person or your social media content. Yeah. So that was the one thing I learned was put the climactic finish at the beginning and tell the story like the movie Casino. You know what I mean? Because it's how you're going to capture the attention.
Well, that's where when I teach people how to speak on camera or if they're asking for advice or how did you get so good? And I'm like, God, fuck, I was like, just like you said, 2 years ago, you put me on camera. I'm like, hey guys, like, yeah, I do today. We're going to, and now it's like, what's up? Let's go, motherfuckers. Where are you at? How you been? Like, let's go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I tell people, I'm like, start doing it in the places you're the most comfortable, where you're not thinking about it. And for me, I'll only film, I shouldn't say only, but I know I'm going to feel good after the gym. I know when I have that 20-minute drive from the gym to my house, I'm fired up. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling froggy. I'll get on that camera and not give a fuck about, how I look or if I'm going to fumble. So I tell somebody, I'm like, where are you the most comfortable? And for me, it's driving because you're not just looking at the camera. You're not just focused in on one thing. You're driving, you're talking, you're being yourself. You can't hit stop and play and record and edit and do all the things. Like, you hit play, you got 60 seconds, give it all she's got. And I tell people, I'm like, that's how you have to do it is where are you comfortable doing it? If you're just staring at a camera and you know you're going to fumble, fuck it. It's like, get somewhere where you're comfortable.
It's the same reason why I record most of my content painting, drawing, or tattooing.
I've noticed that too.
Is I slow down. I speak with less like large syllable words because I'm kind of multitasking, but I can deliver a message that's a lot more relatable because I'm not just hyper focused right here. You know what I mean? Where I'm not judging myself. I'm not like over talking myself. I'm not speeding up. I'm really like deliberate and diligent in what it is I'm trying to say because I'm just trying to get to the point, not trying to give you as many points as possible.
I guess that's good. Maybe I should try that. Like when I'm doing like a brand kit or building out a logo or something, like just talking, but you try and put me on a loom while I'm explaining how to do or create something, go fuck yourself. People are like, what did you just say, you maniac? Like they're going to be like, you're a fucking lunatic. Cause I'm just like, what I can do in fucking, 3 minutes would take the normal person about 30 minutes. So they're like, can you start over? You see me on tutorials. That's why you're like, we should do more tutorials. I'm like, No, we should not.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, because by the time I finish, it's like 45 seconds. I'm like, do you guys get that? And they're like, can you go back to the first thing you said? Yep. But it is what it is.
Yep.
But it's all lessons. But that's the best part about knowing your flaws or knowing where your weaknesses are. Because the more I've said it, the better I've gotten at communication. The better I've slowed down. The better I enter rooms. The better my vibe is higher. And as before, I wouldn't think about it. I would just go in there and just be a dipshit and just literally be the dumbest person in the room. But I'll never be the dude that will say I am the smartest guy in the room. I know I'm a dipshit, but when it comes to street smarts and the things I'm good at, and I can portray that into a message or teach somebody, that's where I know I'm confident and strong.
I think the crazy thing is though, like when it comes to like street smarts, because most people in any industry that we work in, they have a zone of genius. You know what I mean? When you look back at like fitness coaches, their key focus is rarely the fitness. They came from something that made them have to get good at fitness, so it's always their secondary until they want to make it their primary. With tattoo artists, they were artists ideally before it was tattooing, but eventually that becomes their primary thing. But they forget about all the credibility that put them in the position to be an expert in what it is they want to move into.
Sure.
The biggest hurdle with tattoo artists is they sacrifice all of their original foundational creativity to do the one thing to be able to service others. And then they kind of lose connection and the relatability to the people they wish to serve, going through the pain points, the struggles, and the goals. The hardest thing for me in that process was getting people to be open and honest or to remember what those feelings were, because all they want you to do is know how great they are. This one thing they want to be able to share with you.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that will make you miss the mark every single time.
For sure. For sure. I know I sit back so many times. I'm like, I wonder if I didn't ditch half of my periods all through high school to go get stoned or band practice. And then I'm like, but then I probably would have been a shitty musician.
Yeah.
I would have seen the world. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
I'm so grateful for how terrible of a person I was for so long. It still humbles me to this day, because I will talk about all of the terrible things and laugh through it. You'll barely make out the last 5 paragraphs I say, because I'm laughing so hard about how shitty I was around, like, revolving around everything.
Yeah. That's fucking funny. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say I was a bad drunk, but there was times I was a dickhead. I'll get to that point. We called it Yeah Jake. I was nicknamed that because when I got to that blackout point, I was just full retard. Just, yeah, Jake, like punch myself. I was either fucking naked running somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. I was playing fucking Frogger with UP trucks or trains. Like, there were literal times like people threw me at, like, just being dumb, like just to that point of no return where I'm standing on the tracks like, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, what a fucking idiot, dude. But everyone, I know a lot of people have some pretty bad stories. But we all worked through it, you know what I mean? And all those experiences and triumphs and trials and errors like led everyone to where they are now. Yeah, good times.
I don't know, man. Like, part of me, I wouldn't trade any of it. Like, even the darkest of times, I wouldn't trade any of it for the fucking world.
I probably can. I would say the same thing, dude. I mean, half of it I don't remember, so that's probably a good thing. Else I'd be like, I would change that one right there. But no, dude, I mean, I even used to get upset, you know, like, and I shouldn't be, like, in my early 30s to own a gym and a house and have your first daughter by the age of like 33 years old. You're not doing too bad. You've done some things right. But I always consider myself a late bloomer, even in my early 30s, because for 10 years of my life, I was touring, you know, at the age of 18 up until 30 years old, we were playing shows every fucking weekend. And I always was like, dude, I got such a late start. But then I look back and all the dudes at my age at that time were like, I wish I would have done what you did.
Yeah.
Because they're just stuck in that routine, that 9 to 5, as they still are. You know, now I'm looking back, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, imagine doing the same thing for 24 years.
Here's why I wouldn't trade any of it for the world is I feel like the people we aspired to be when we were younger, we actually maintained our convictions. We are still outliers. We are still unhinged as hell. We've just done so much with it that we've professionalized the fuck out of it. And isn't that the fucking dream? We're still outliers. We're still doing literally whatever we want. We're just, I guess, targeted in the way
it's the dream. And the way I think of this, Mikey, is like looking back at 23 years old, 20 years ago, and now looking forward to 63 years old. Yeah. Now, with the amount of shit I've been through, that we've conquered, that we've accomplished, that we've succeeded in, it's like, oh, fuck, like, strap on. It's going to get good. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you picture 20 years from now, it seems like a long time, but you look back 20 years, and it's like, how much have I accomplished so far? Yeah. And now being right in the middle of shit, it's like, dude, like, there's a lot of life. You know, hopefully.
You just said it on one of the last times we recorded. Like, it finally feels like you're just getting started. Like, we're just now getting momentum, you know. But to anybody else, it just seems like we've accomplished so much. And to me, like, I'm finally getting the bearings to get the momentum going at a faster rate. Yeah. But then I look back at all of my old social circles and all the different things I had done. And you just see people doing the same shit, you know, doing the same stuff, the same character types, going to the same places, hanging out with the same people. And if that's good for them, if they're comfortable, if they're happy, if they're surviving just enough, and that's where they want to be,
Yeah.
cool.
Dude, it's like the clip I just put today, dude. Like when it was like, when did you realize? And it's really like, as for as long as I've known that I can do anything I've wanted, it really got real. Like within those 8 weeks, because when you become this yes man, and you know when you say yes, you can do it. You can overcome the obstacles, whatever gets thrown at you. And guess what? If it doesn't work out, start over. Do it again. Do something else. And I hate saying a plan B. I'm not going like the plan B or I have another option.
Yeah.
You still put your effort into it as if there's no plan B. But I mean, the amount of companies or businesses or brands or things I've kind of like fucked with, but never like saw it come through or like the other side. It's like, big deal. It was a hit or miss. It was a hit or miss, but I fucking tried it.
Look at it this way. There's a few stages people go through. Some people have a plan B.
Yeah.
Some people pull out way too early. Some people go full load.
Yeah.
I'm a full load kind of guy now. You know what I mean? And I'm going ham on loads at this point because I've done the plan B thing and I never wanted a backup plan. I never wanted to think to myself, like, well, if this doesn't go my way, there's always a plan B. Because that's always made the first initial outcome watered down anyway. So I just go like full in. I'm blowing loads everywhere and we're going to see how shit plays.
Yeah. Well, and that's like if people come to me now with an idea or a business idea or like want me to like be part of it. If I look them in the eye and they don't have that lunatic in them or that like, if it's just like that casual, not 4 a.m., like talk in the kitchen, if they come to me and they're like, hey dude, what do you think about this, this and this? I'm like, how all in are you? Well, I've been thinking about it. Nah.
Yep.
I want you to be like, this is it. This is the fucking thing.
Yeah.
We're fucking going for it.
Yep.
Lunatic, guns blazing, fucking tombstone. This is it. And then I'm like, then that gets me fired up. But someone comes like, hey, dude, I need this. And then like, well, what do you think about? Well, what do you think about it? What are you really good at? Like Mike taught me that recently. Mike Dolce, he was like, when you talk to somebody and you ask them like, what are you really good at? You let them explain like what they're good at. You don't want well, I could kind of do this and I dabble in this and I kind of like, well, I enjoy this. Like, no. Like the first conversation he had with me is like, hey, what are you really good at? I'm like, fucking everything. I can do whatever you need me to, bro. And he's like, explain. And I named it off. And just like, you know what I mean? 6 weeks later, it was done. And he's like, oh, the fuck? Who are you?
At what point were you able to quit using half measure terms? Because at one point in time, we were that same, like, well, I know a little bit about this. I'm pretty good at this. I can wrap my head around it. But then eventually I've noticed a massive shift since you and I have done this back and forth for so long, like knowing each other. Eventually we're just confident as fuck about what it is we know, and we know what we don't know.
Because I got at the point,
fuck out of it now.
It goes back and dude, like I get credit where credit's due. It was like, you know what I mean? Like Message to Garcia, B. Rowan. I've named this a few times. I thought somebody was talking shit. And I'll just say it right now. It was Macro Matt. And one day I'd asked him for something and he was like, bro, have you ever read Message to Garcia? I'm like, no. Why? He's like, read that book and then let me know. And I order the book. I get it. I read. I'm like, motherfucker, he's talking shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? Be Rowan? And then all of a sudden it clicked on me. Matt was helping me by saying like, have you read Message to Garcia? Meaning, hey, dude, before you go and ask someone how to do it, figure it out first or see if you can try and figure it out without, because there was things I didn't think I should get into or that I had the capability of knowing how to do it. And then when I read that book, everything clicked. So now when someone asks me if I could do something, if I flat out don't know, and it's like something way out of my jurisdiction or my pay grade, I'll be like, dude, I can't do that. If it's something I know I have the least bit of interest in, that I know I can overcome and finish, the job, I'm going to fucking give it everything I got to figure it out and learn it myself. So then the next person that asks me, I can teach them. And then that person can, and then it's the ripple effect. Yeah. So I think it was really within when I realized like there's some shit I don't know and I got to figure it out, which the last 2 years I've been doing. Now I just simply go on, I watch something on, I educate myself, I learn it, I perfect it, and then I teach it. And that's really, it was that book. Yeah. Because why let somebody else take money off your family's table when you know you can spend a couple days, do the research, fucking use AI, and start putting tools together to be able to learn it, so then you're not paying somebody else to do the job for you. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah. I I've never read the book, but
It's my favorite book because it's only, I don't read a whole lot. I'm an Audible guy,
yeah,
but this book is only 14 pages. It was right up my alley.
that's I. I would still read that with my ears. I'm that guy.
I think I did both. I'm one of those dudes where like I will read and listen to Audible. It's the only way my ADD brain will shut the fuck off.
Yep.
Is if I'm reading and listening at the same time, because then there's no distractions.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to just something, I'm so. If I'm reading something, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner later.
Yeah.
So now I just do both, and it's the best way to comprehend.
Yep. Well, it goes back to the way I record content when I multitask. I task stack life. You know what I mean? Because if I can do two things at once, both of them will somehow get more attention.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so going back to the communication of everything,
Yeah.
where do you think no. What's your superpower?
You know, I've changed my answer a few times since I've been asked this. My superpower is helping others become the best fucking versions of themselves.
Yep.
Because ultimately, I know that's so cliche, but when I really sit back and think about it, and I forget who I just told this to lately, somebody just, it was my boy Tony. We call him Lambro. He bought some viral gear, and I thanked him, and he goes, bro, like, I'll support anything you do. And he gave me this long text just basically telling me, he's like, since I've known you, and this is back like early Mantis days, his band used to play with me. He's like, you've always just been the realest fucking dude. You've always been the realest dude, and you've always had a heart of gold. Like even back in Mantis, like I would buy somebody a beer with my last $5 on tour. I paid, like, we were making $10 a day. I would buy my fans beers, but he's like, dude, you've just always had that kind heart and always gone above and beyond to help other people. He's like, especially in these last like few years, he was one of my clients. I got him down some great results. He's like, you just go out of your way to make sure people are being helped and served. And, it goes a long way when somebody like that tells you something, dude. So like my power, I told him, sorry, I'm going off track again. I told him, I was like, I like seeing people win than I like seeing my own self win.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking fact. That's not for the camera. I literally enjoy watching people win. And if I'm anywhere part of that or a testimony to it, it's everything. And Angela, my wife, can tell you, dude, like I live to serve. You know what I mean? I live to serve. Bottom line. So my superpower is helping other people.
What's your kryptonite?
Getting in my own head that I can't achieve that.
Yeah.
Because I get too down on myself. If there's a task if I don't see a testimony, like I told you the other day, I'm a words of affirmation guy.
Yeah.
So like if I don't hear positivity come back, I get in my own head. Fuck, Did I not do that right? Did I fuck that up? Did I say the wrong thing? Was I an idiot? God, did I speak before? Did I think before I spoke? And I get really into my head, which is crazy, as confident as I am. Mm-hmm. And it may not be my kryptonite anymore. You know what I mean?
I think there's a benefit to it because of the confidence you do have. Yeah. It just makes you a little bit more dialed in the next time. Like you might get in your head, but you don't beat yourself up over it. You just utilize it as something to remember because you can still pinpoint like what you may have said. See what you may have said that may not have stuck. I mean, everybody learns a different way. And that's kind of the hardest part about being of service to other people is when you speak to a room of people, everyone's going to learn differently. Everybody's going to relate to a certain thing being said differently. You can have the same conversation 20 times and 3 people each time are going to take it away at face value. The rest of them are going to be a little confused, a little uncertain. It wasn't quite their learning style.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to tell you before we got off topic, I was going to say my goal was to do some improv classes and then Toastmasters. But then I started realizing I'm like, my goal isn't to be on stage to speak. My only goal to be on stage is to scream my face off.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a goal to go publicly speak. It just doesn't amuse me. And I've never been like, fuck, I wish I could get up there and just run the crowd like that. I never thought about stand-up comedy. I never thought about acting. I never wanted to portray myself or have a different act as somebody that I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought by doing Toastmasters in improv, it could really fuck up my whole persona. Does that sound weird?
No, I get that all too well. So when I was younger, I was a big fan of Hunter S. Thompson, and he was a Gonzo writer. And so he would embody what it was he was doing. And I always related to that, but he never lost touch of who he was in those moments.
Sure.
And it's very rare that you see that.
And that's what I did. And I'll probably sound like a jackass saying this, but I never thought of myself of trying to be an actor because I never wanted to turn off who I was. I didn't ever want to portray something I wasn't. And I thought by public speaking or learning ways to get better at it would have just turned me into somebody I wasn't in public.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be able to hit that, even though I struggle with like hitting that light switch at all times, or even when I do Mantis, some nights I'm fucking belting out and I'm fucking confident. My screams are like up and down. Other nights I get up there and I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to be up here.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like trying to be someone I'm not just doesn't, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think that's why I always hated the fake it till you make it bumper sticker statement, because you don't have to fake it at all. You just have to understand the fact it's not going to be easy. The same reason everybody has paralysis by analysis, or the same reason everybody has imposter syndrome,
sure,
is because they weren't themselves through the process of, and that one thing they felt like they sacrificed about themselves to fake it till they made it is the exact same thing that makes them feel like they don't deserve to be in this place. Yeah. And why they have that imposter syndrome is because they just weren't genuine and authentic to themselves. And somewhere it took them off the path a little bit.
Yeah.
But
the best fucking part of that is some of the most successful coaches or creatives I've seen are the ones that ask questions no matter if they look stupid.
Yeah.
The ones that constantly hold back or don't speak on those Zooms because they feel like they're going to be an idiot or say something stupid. I guess that's why I always just say stupid shit.
Yeah.
And ask dumb questions, because I don't want to be the dude in class that like has that question but so afraid to ask it because I was going to look dumb. I would ask it because I would learn from that question.
Yeah.
And then you'd see the looks on everyone else's faces going, God damn, I'm glad he asked that.
That's why, like, on the calls, what I get so mad when people don't have questions or when they don't say their questions, because I already know that I can be very confusing. And when I rip, I'm going to hit you with 30 topics. Like even last night, you and I jumping from the difference between like designing your avatar, your ICP, your branding output, communication strategies, content creation. We went the whole gambit in an hour.
Yeah.
And no one had a question. Like, and that doesn't mean that they weren't present in it. It just means they either weren't taking notes or they weren't confident enough to just ask as the question presented itself. Sure. You know, and that really shows that you are present and you're trying to absorb the information.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a known fact doing this for so long. The ones that have jumped on Zooms and be like, I don't get that, or can you please explain that? As a leader, you don't get upset. You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not only that, it helps you explain it again, and you slow it down, and you lean on that a little bit harder. But the value somebody gets off of that one moment where they come off mute button and fucking ask that, a light bulb goes off. Because I remember being that person in the Zoom room. I'm sitting there going, God damn, I don't get what they're talking about. Fucking do it, Jake. Raise your fucking hand. There's 30 people in here. Fuck, don't be an idiot. And I'd be like, I don't get that. You know, maybe one person might go, you know, Doyle rules type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, but when he doesn't even know. But like, it made me so much better because I came off mute and fucking heard the sound of my voice, you know, and second, I figured it out.
That is it. A lot of the time it starts a chain reaction also, or worst case scenario, just bring up Limp Bizkit. You know what I mean? You want to get some interaction in the rooms. You start talking about Limp Bizkit and all of a sudden everybody's all ears.
Yeah, that did happen.
We have proof of concept of that.
We do, dude. That's fucking great. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still up and down. You know, there's times, I just got to a point because I've said some dumb shit on stage too. Oh man, I used to fucking just punish people. And I just look back at the video somebody would show me and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm an animal, dude. What am I doing? You know, but it's just like, just who I am.
You know what I want? What I really want more than anything? I want to bring that back. Because even in tattooing, I remember one of my favorite things about being a tattoo artist was being able to just say things
Yeah.
and no one get offended by it because they understood the culture and the environment in which they were in.
Yeah.
Where now everybody's worried about what they're going to say, how they're going to sound, how they're going to look, but they're in a business that they're building. It's your business, and you have to know that you have the confidence to say what's on your mind, no matter how dumb it sounds or no matter how like what the fuck did you just
I
say?
don't even, fuck, I wish I remember the creator. I don't even know who he is. He's got a pretty big following. And one of his reels popped up, dude, and he goes, hey, like, you know how they do the comments and then they talk about the comments they
Yeah.
got from like a previous post? And one of the comments was like, you need to stay out of politics. He's like, you need to stay the fuck off my page. Last I checked, this is my page and I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You can fucking unfollow me, dude. And I was like, that's the shit we need.
Yeah.
Like, because all you see is just, dude, like, no matter the person, it could be the greatest person in the world, dude, just talking about something so nicely. And you got those fucking 5 people that just fucking talk shit, that just like have to say something negative, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that really used to, I've come from that from a long time, being in my band forums back in Mantis or being the MTV Battle for Ozfest guy. Like the reviews I read on Blabbermouth and fucking Metal Edge and all these Revolver, man, we would do an interview and there would just be a laundry list of just people talking shit. But then it's like we'd go play live or we'd see these people in person. They'd come and be like, man, I talked so much shit on you in this interview, but you're actually pretty fucking good live. And just like, it's just unnecessary, just brutality, dude. That like, but like, that's how long I've been dealing with this. I don't get it as much anymore. I don't, nor do I give a fuck. But like, it's just such a sad society to see the world coming to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything else. Like there's the shit talkers, and then there's the sad people who are afraid to have shit talked.
Yeah.
But the people who are really just willing to go out, say the thing, do the thing. I'm a firm believer that being unhinged is a superpower as long as there's a mission that you're on. Because you can be unhinged and lost.
Yeah.
Because I was, as a drug addict, as an alcoholic and everything. But I'm twice as unhinged now, only with a mission. And it's so much more fun. But I want to bring back the enjoyment of it. I want to be able to shock people a little bit by the way my mind works, because I even lost a little bit of my fun, of my edge, the more articulate and the more serious I became. The more the force of focus started to scale and really create a lot of momentum, we started really helping a lot of people. I became more serious because my goal was to change lives. So I hung up the old fun me and I became very like, and fuck that noise, man. Like I miss just loving having conversations about shit that I truly care about. Like my superpower has always
I was just going to
been-
ask you, what is your superpower?
Mine, I honestly think I see potential in people that they may not believe in. You know what I mean? You can see a person's got something in there that they're just not confident enough to believe in, and I can see that. You know, and that's why I love the work that I do, is I can bring versions of people out that they have buried because they've let themselves down so many times that they've forgotten about that version of them they always aspired to be. The reason they got into the business that they're in the first place. My kryptonite is I will give that person everything I have, whether they are willing to do the work or not. And that's the problem, is some people are interested in wanting to see change. Some people are interested in becoming successful, but they're not committed to it the same way I am. And I'll commit myself to someone else's growth more than they will. And that's my kryptonite, is I sacrifice a lot of my time, a lot of my money, a lot of my attention to people who genuinely just, they're not willing.
Yeah.
And that's where I get beat up. That's my doubt. You know what I mean?
At what point, if it's happened, at what point do you give up? At what point do you say, fuck, I can't fix you?
I mean, honestly, I don't think I ever give up, but there comes a point in time
Or would
where
they give up?
and I think there comes a point in time, and I try to make it as clear as possible. I give up one of two ways. One, because I realize people aren't willing to do the work. And so eventually we just say, you know what, when you're ready, I'm not going anywhere. Or when that person starts blaming you for all the things that they were unwilling to do. And that's another thing that happens in the coaching space. You know, there's two character types that are really profound. The people who will fight tooth and nail and it just doesn't click for them, and they eventually throw their hands up, they throw in the towel, they give up. and you let them know, no matter what, when you're ready and you get rid of all the distractions, you get rid of all the doubt, I'm still going to be here. Or the person who refuses to do any of the work. And then they say, well, I couldn't because he didn't.
Yeah.
And I still love what I do. You know what I mean? Because I see potential in people, but I also understand a lot of people have a hard time letting go of what was to be able to accept what is, to be able to become what needs to be. And if you can't let go of that what was thing, like you have that victim mentality,
Yeah.
then you're a lot harder to help. And the sad part is I still try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I want to rescue people. I know I have been in as dark of places as most. The problems could be different, but the situations and the feelings are generally pretty similar.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things. And now I'll go on record to say in May, I'm coming up on, I can't say I'm alcohol free in 3 years because I probably have drinking probably 6 times, like at the beginning, more or less, tried it out like not too long ago. But I think that's the problem with alcohol and why I don't go back to it is because that's the mentality. I get that victim mentality. I get that like, well, fuck, I didn't make it, so I just fucking might as well just fucking keep fucking. You know, I get like that.
Yeah.
I get in my head, and that's when I start. Same thing with my confidence, jealousy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Alcohol brings that, and I don't know if it's because I don't do it. But dude, like up until I was like, I'm done. I was bad, dude. I would just sit in the garage and just dwell. Like, why am I fucking? Like, I don't deserve it. Like, I'm like, I would just self-sabotage myself.
My
ugly.
my big fear with it is my alcoholism is attached to misery and lying.
Yeah.
You know, because I always wanted to hide from everybody that I wasn't drinking. I would ignore calls. I would just completely like brush people off. I'd give them a line of bullshit that neither of us believed. And that's my biggest fear, I think, about going back to drinking on like a regular basis. Because I still tell myself, you can have just two. And I have proof of concept. No, you can't. You know, but the reason I won't allow myself to go back and really just try to test the field is because it's immediately attached to misery, to failure, and to lying. I would lie through my teeth about my drinking.
And see, I wasn't there because most of my homies would still drink me, so I didn't really have anyone to lie to other than myself.
I would outdrink everyone I knew in quantity, but always a lot faster than they would consume quantity.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So they knew how to pace themselves.
Oh, I never paced.
And so they would last a lot longer than I would, but that's because I was like chasing my whiskey with Jack and Cokes.
Yeah. See, the last even just those 5 times I've done it, 6, 7, whatever it fucking was, I didn't count. It was the test. It was like, because I never said when I stopped drinking it was going to be forever or I'm going straight edge. It was like, I know I do better without it. So now I've had that mentality going into it. And like, one's been like an old fashioned and, tested the waters and it wasn't shabby, but it's not something I'm already planning the next time. It's been a while, but I just knew back then. Everyone's like, oh, you drink because you had a bad experience. I'm like, no, I drink because I got a mentorship and fucking invested money I didn't have. And I thought it was the only fair thing to do for my family to not waste money on alcohol and be hungover and be the best version. And then as it kept getting better and better and wind started stacking up. And then, something bad had happened. I forget what the fuck it was. And I was like, I'm just going to drink. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad, but I didn't self-sabotage myself. So I already had that mentality of like, it doesn't have to be that bad. But I look at it now, I'm like, I'll never go back to it every weekend. If there's a social event or I go to cheer someone, I may do it. Yeah. But other than that, it's like nothing I think about.
I told myself once upon a time when I got sober, I will never allow drugs and alcohol back into my life. And that was a promise that no one should ever keep to themselves because they can't guarantee it. You know what I mean?
I never made a promise. See, I never sat down. I was like, I swear I'll never drink again. Nor when I got sober, I wasn't like, I'm never drinking again. Yeah. Or there's that one bad thing that happened. I never had to go to AA. God forbid, I never had a DUI, anything like that. I should have 1,000 fucking times probably, but
I have 7.
Yeah, don't drink.
Yeah. Now hold on, hear me out. In my defense,
I don't think there's a defense on 7.
that's lifetime. That's not like so.
Yeah.
I mean, for all the times that I drank and drove, I'm still batting 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, my big thing is, man, like I don't give a fuck what people do. I also never had boundaries in my life. I never played by rules. I never had any rules of engagement. I never told myself I'm only going to go out for a couple. I knew what I was doing.
So same thing too. Like even when I was at my worst, it's like I knew I was going out to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I wanted to party for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
I never was like, I don't want to go out tonight because I don't think I want to drink. I don't want to be hung up. It was like, no, I'm going to go out and we're going to fuck some shit up. And it's going to be a damn good time. And it was every single time. Until it wasn't.
It got real dark toward the end for me. But I mean, that's what, even the worst times, wouldn't trade it for the world because I've got some pretty vivid memories of things no one would ever believe that occurred in my life. I've lived so many lifetimes and I wouldn't trade any of them for the world because they've made me the unhinged human I am today. And I can do so much because of, I don't want to be that guy. It's like, I can do so much because of what I've overcome. No, I can do so much because of what the fuck I experienced. I have tested the human limits of psychology of what a person can withstand and still stand.
It's crazy to think about beside my drummer, like 4 of the gnarliest partying, alcoholic degenerates in one fucking RV traveling the world with no rules, money for booze. They gave us free booze just to play. Like who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
And to like say like I was 23 walking through New York for the 5th time, like at 3 a.m, like how the fuck am I alive?
Yeah.
It's like me and my bass player, dude, like we still talk. I mean, I still talk to all of them, dude, but you know, me and Clint were just like working together, dude. And we're just like, he just had his 44th birthday and here I am 40. And I'm like, how? I remember him and I specifically the first time we went to New York, it was for the Battle for Oz Festival. It was the first time on the East Coast. And we were at some bars in between one of the nights and we were at Big Dave, which was Ozzy's like best friend. He was the nanny. And Big Dave's like, come on, we're going to go to this bar. And just me and Clint go, we get hammered. And we're like, Big Dave, how far is CBGB's? He's like, oh, bro, that's on the other side of New York. There's no fucking way. There's no way. And we're like, we took that as like a challenge. But we didn't have a dime for a taxi. So we're like, it can't be that far. It's fucking New York. We see it in the movies. It's like one, skyscraper to another, dude. We're good. We start fucking walking. It's fucking hours, dude. We're just stumbling because I think we even took a bottle from the bar. And, dude, it's got to be like 3 a.m. And we just had this mission. We are getting to fucking CBGB's, dude. It's a fucking place we need to be. We just kept walking, dude. He would fall down and like, I got to sleep for a minute and I would pick him up. 5 minutes later, it's like me on the ground. He'd pick me up. We're like, bro, we're not going to fucking make it, dude. We must have literally been on the other side of New York. And finally, dude, it had to be hours, dude. I'm not exaggerating. Because we probably were walking so fucking slow because we were so drunk. Finally, like we look up and we see it, and it's just like this movie moment where it's like, and obviously it's closed, but we're like staring at it. We're just like, we fucking made it because our old roots were Ramones and Black Flag and bands that just came through. That was history to us. We had Showcase Theater in New York, had CBGB's, and dude, it was the funniest shit. We ended up fucking getting a cab. We hitched the fucking cab. We ran the fuck out. We were staying in Jersey, I think, and the next tour we played CBGB's. We went through all that, and the next tour, we literally were booked at CBGB's. Then we played it another 3 fucking times before it closed. And we're like, that was cool. But the moral of the story is just, I don't know how we survived that.
Yeah. I have 2 statements that are completely contrasting one another. I tell people all the time, like, drugs and alcohol prove to me that I'm invincible until life proves me otherwise.
Yeah.
But also, I tell people, think about death often. Because is the life that you've led today good enough for you to be thrilled? Or do you feel like you should start living your life today, not knowing if you'll have it tomorrow?
Yeah. It's crazy. I think about death more than I think about death more now than I did when I was that reckless.
Yeah.
Back then, that would never happen. We were invincible.
Here's the thing, okay? We're going to circle back to branding. You said the other night something that attaches to this. Who's the person, who's the version of you that you want to be? And how do we help you create that? Because if you can close your eyes right now and think about death, are you thrilled with the person you are today? If not, who would you prefer to be? If you don't have tomorrow, if you don't have a year, if you don't have 10 and nobody can tell you, who's the you want to die as? That is the version of you should work to become, and that is the brand that you should represent. Because the person you are may not be.
Have you ever written a eulogy for yourself?
Oh yeah.
Have you? I just someone who the fuck said that? I read it or saw it somewhere. Someone's like, "You want to take a look at your life? Write your own eulogy."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, one of the first things Rob Bailey had me do was that.
Oof.
Yeah. So I work with Rob and I work with Keaton. Rob had me write my fucking eulogy. Keaton had me write letters to my younger self.
God damn.
Those, you know what I mean? Like,
fuck off. I don't want to. I'm not meeting them.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep work with those two buttholes, man.
That's fucked up shit. That goes from one extreme to even the worst extreme.
Yep.
Which one did you start with?
I actually started with the eulogy.
I would probably do it backwards, unless that's not the way they do it.
That was the order in which they gave it to me. That wasn't like pick one or the other.
No, I know. I was like, okay, I didn't know if they're. Yeah, dude, I've never. A lot of people say that. They're like, take a look at your life and like, who's going to attend your funeral? And I've pictured it, but I've never thought that hard about being a better person so more people show up to my funeral. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've never. It's like, well, fuck whoever. Maybe they got work.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't get a babysitter. I don't fucking know.
I want to send out invites like a wedding. I want to have them all already written out, and the minute I die, Katie will be in charge of setting out the invites. And I want them to be real elaborate cards, real sparkly.
Can it be a BYOB? Can it be a BYOB?
Of course.
Or bring your own like lawn chair?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of two things will occur. It's going to be a room full of people I don't know, or the 8 people who got the invite.
Yeah, I think I thought more. Not who was going to show up, but what bands were going to play the memorial.
Mm-hmm.
That is the question I asked myself.
Yeah. Oh, who are the bands?
What's that?
Who are the bands?
Yeah, that's all I want to know. Who's playing for me? But dude, it's crazy we're talking about this because I just started a new show last night with Angela. Man, we were going back and forth. We watched. It's so funny, dude. Speaking of like entrepreneurs and all these fucking dickheads that are like, if you have time to watch Netflix, you got time to build a business. Like, fuck you. I'm sitting down for 90 minutes with my wife and I'm going to watch a fucking flick. Okay, that's what makes you a real person. Escape reality for those 90 minutes. Well, we started a series called Dark Matter.
Heard of it.
On Apple TV.
Okay.
First episode was pretty gnarly. The guy's got a great life, did the things, wife, he's got the son. Seems like he's got the perfect fucking life. His buddy calls him, says he got this award that he possibly should have been getting. So he meets the guy for drinks, they're buddies, they're talking about it. Well, his buddy offers him a position to move to another state. And on his walk home, he gets fucking swooped up, has no idea what's going on. The guy asks him, he's got a mask on, he puts him to gunpoint, he goes, "Are you truly living the life that you want to live?" And he kind of was like, "Well, no." And the guy fucking puts him to sleep with some needle, wakes up, but you got to watch the show. You guys got to watch the show now. But it reminded me of that scenario where the dude was unhappy, but long story short, he ends up like waking up to another life and trying to figure out what's going. Like he still knows who he is, but woke up to whole new, like nobody knows what's happening. So really cool. I'm interested. I'm going to be sitting in about an hour and a half watching episode 2.
I'm going to look into it.
Yeah, Dark Matters, Apple TV.
You know how I like to be educated, obviously.
Yeah.
So Katie and I have become self-proclaimed ancient astronaut theorists because it seems that the only thing we watch anymore is Ancient Aliens. Interesting.
I've never. Not one.
Well, then you're not going to know what to do or how to carry conversations when it inevitably occurs. And all of my information will probably be fabricated as well, but at least it's going to be entertaining to watch me try.
Here's the difference, Mikey. I will figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll ask my ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'll be like, wait, say that again?
Yep.
Write that in my brand voice and my brand identity. I'm going to have to go for my customer persona with this here alien, and let's figure out a brand strategy along with some visual identity for the alien.
But yeah, say this like you're speaking to an 8-year-old.
Yes. An ancient 8-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it's not that I'm that guy that says, don't spend time. Because Katie and I make sure we do at least one date night a week. It's in the calendar. It's important. We go see a movie. We go do something. But when I leave these calls, when I get done off community, when I do all the things, I go up, we lay in bed, and every time it's just fucking ancient aliens.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah,
Where does one find ancient alien documentaries?
I mean, you can find ancient aliens on
God, it's not going to be on my fucking phone. Now I heard your ass.
Yep, Netflix, Prime. You can find.
Are these new or are these from like Unsolved Mystery Days?
Oh, dude, this is all the History Channel. They've got like 25, 26 episodes.
God damn it!
And they're still putting them out. I'm excited. Needless to say, I'm excited.
If that's your thing. I'm not going to dish you for it.
I don't even know if it's my thing anymore. It's just kind of my character.
Sure, the fuck sounds like it's your thing.
I know. Well, I'm an ancient astronaut theorist, so I didn't choose it.
Doomsday Prepper, dude. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming together, Mikey. But see, that's what happens when you live in Iowa. It's like cornfields and no mountains. You're meant for fire in the sky.
Is that what you know about Iowa? Is there is corn, but there isn't mountains?
Yeah.
Okay, then you pretty much know everything you need to.
You have no highways. It's 2-lane roads. John Denver plays on the jukebox at all the local diners. Well, the one diner in the whole state, I think. Did I sum it up pretty well?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it on the head.
Or is that Nebraska?
It's the same state with invisible lines, man. We do, however, have the country's largest outdoor skate park.
I could tell you right now, there's a handful of states I could be like, couldn't tell you when, where, how, fucking driving through. But I know we've been through them. We played them all. Yeah. But I was one of those places where I look back and I'm like, what the fuck did we play in Iowa? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's this world's biggest skating rink?
Here in Des Moines, right here in.
I can still get down on the quads, bud.
Okay, prove it. Come on out to Iowa.
Like, dude, Angela. So my friend Austin had her kid's birthday, and I rented a pair because I obviously don't have my RS 1000s with the pro plate and the quad witch doctor wheels. Yep. But I will say, Angela's like, I was like, I'm gonna have to warn you guys, I'm a pretty good skater, and like a few people looked at me like, you okay, Jake? I literally got on and I backward skated for like 45 minutes straight, flowing. Like, it was like Debbie Deb. It was like probably like 6 songs. I just backward skated the whole time. Everyone's watching me like, what the fuck? Like, he was serious? Like, just flowing, dude. Like, crisscrossing, fucking just not even looking, fucking scraping my ass on the fucking rail, doing a bet slide, you know?
Okay.
Yep. Angela was like, holy shit, you weren't lying. I'm like, that's what I did for so long.
Yeah.
7 to like, I think it was like 5th to like 8th grade, I lived at the roller skate. And then I played roller hockey for 6 years.
Did we go from the world's largest skateboard park to the world's largest
skateboard? Oh, I was thinking skating rink.
No. Why on God's earth would I steamroll this podcast recording to talk about roller skating?
I was never I was a decent skateboarder, but I was the videographer.
Uh-huh. Well,
fuck, I was so excited. I thought you said skating rink.
Nope.
Doesn't sound anything like a skateboard park.
The country's largest skate park. So up here's Californians.
Yeah, but your one largest doesn't compare to our 400 skate parks across the state.
Yeah, but nobody buried him in sand here, so suck it.
I don't know what that means.
During the pandemic, everybody was the state was dumping sand in skate parks so people wouldn't go out and use them.
Oh, what a fucking bunch of fucking retards.
You guys are the worst.
In case you got COVID outside on the old skateboard park.
Yep, safety first is what I was told. Yep. But so they did the Do Tour here for like the past like 3 or 4 years, trying to put Iowa on the map. I don't think it worked.
Is the Do Tour like the new X Games? Because I know I've heard of it.
The Do Tour's been around for a while. It was
right.
very similar to.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't fucking know the difference. I think it was just another version of.
Same
But,
part.
yeah. Good branding.
Great branding.
Yeah.
It's Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I don't know if good branding is. Well, that's another topic.
Did you ever get your intro and outro done for Steve?
No.
Okay.
No. You just hit me up about it like this afternoon. I don't know why we need an outro. Usually just goes to the next video.
I don't know what he like. What he wants.
He wants an intro, like the ones I made for like Wolves and all the others I've done.
I never watched any of those.
Oh, it's like a 5-second, just like let it rip.
That's the intro.
Like
Just that right there. Just a video of you going let it rip.
I don't know why he can't make it. He's a fucking. He does the same thing I do.
Yeah, well, probably because he can't make nearly as good of an air guitar and mouth riff.
That's gonna be let it rip.
Yep, and
Cut.
Done.
Let it rip.